And good evening to you on Channel 5 in Singapore. This is the Bang Karno Stadium in Jakarta, Indonesia. The 2008 Asian Federation Football Suzuki Cup Final 2008. In fact, this is the Group A matchup, the final games for this group. Two big teams in ASEAN, of course, Indonesia, the co-host nation, taking on Singapore in an absolute vital game, even though both sides are statistically qualified for the semi-finals. Both teams will want to come out with a good result tonight. A draw for Singapore will ensure that they top this group, and a victory for Indonesia will ensure that they lead this particular group in Group A. And of course, both teams are hoping to avoid to meet Thailand, likely Group B leaders in the other group happening in Phuket right now.
Please rise for the national anthem of Singapore. Para hadirin, dimohon kesediaannya untuk berdiri
In a short while, the respective national anthems for both nations.
Singapura. And now, the national anthem of Indonesia. Berikutnya, lagu kebangsaan Indonesia.
The scene is set for two traditional arch rivals in this part of the world to lock horns tonight, and we're happy to bring the action to you right here on Channel 5. I'm Bernard Lee. With me this evening is Mark Richmond.
Bernard, as here, of course, that this being an entrance straight games and both sides already qualifying that they might just leak this out and just peter it away with their second string sides. But you can tell from the starting lineups of both these two teams that they really want to win this group to hopefully avoid Thailand. It's almost a full starting lineup for the Indonesians with Budi Sudarsono, of course, the main striker. There are 4 goals in this tournament. Personal pride between him and Agu Kasmir as well. And for the Singapore lineup, it's just Mustafiz Farudin that coach Radi Abramovich has decided to rest only because he's on a yellow card. He could miss the semi-finals if he gets another booking here. Although I must say, Bernard, I'm quite surprised with the inclusion of Noor Rahman because he too is on a yellow card and serving and facing suspension if he gets booked tonight.
Well, Noor Rahman, of course, previous game played as the captain for Singapore, and this time around with the inclusion of Indra Shadan, well, the number 10 man for Singapore will resume his role as skipper for Singapore, alongside with Charish Yulianto, another veteran in the Indonesian lineup. In fact, he holds the back line together.
Absolutely right. Yulianto, Muhammad Robi, they are the 2 strongholds. The big fear for Indonesia, though, is that they don't have a firm midfielder just in front of them to protect the back 4. Both Firman Otina and Arif Suyono, along with Sudarsono, they actually enjoy going forward more than they enjoy protecting the back line. Whereas for the Singaporeans, Mustafiz is out, but Isa Halim does just a superb job for the young Lions, and he'll fit into that Mustafiz role very nicely indeed.
Well, there you see the bench for the Singapore side. Lots of firepower still in case they need to call on some capable, competent substitutes in case the results doesn't go Singapore's way. That, of course, is the coach for Indonesia, Benny Dolo. Well, he has certainly done himself very proud so far. Indonesia has performed very, very well this competition so far.
Absolutely right, Bernard. I just thought that, this guy, Radi Abramovich and Benny, they have the 2 best sides in Group A. They qualified very easily. But alongside them, Thailand have also shown lots of potential in becoming the next ASEAN champions. But Indonesia, especially in that first game against Myanmar, were just all over the pitch. And they dominated the game from the off. But Singapore showed their true colours against Myanmar. I thought it was one of the best Young Lions performance I've seen in a long, long while.
Referee R. Krishnan from Malaysia just blown for the game to kick off. Of course, he'll be assisted by Asman Ismail from Malaysia and Pricha Kangram from Thailand. Singapore playing in their all-blue outfits for the very first time in this competition. Attacking from your right to the left.
Something that Radi Abramovich likes to do with his sides, which is take control early and set the tempo of the game. And this is what you might expect from the Young Lions right from the off. And there's one thing that the Lions have over their Southeast Asian neighbors as well, is the height factor. They're much taller than a lot of the teams that they're playing. Perhaps only Thailand might match them when it comes to the aerial duels. So that's something that they played to their strengths very well against Cambodia and Myanmar. And against the Indonesians, they might want to take advantage of the height factor too.
Well, the home ground support for Indonesia will always be there. This huge, formerly known as Senayan Stadium, now renamed as Bang Karno Stadium, has always been the 11th, or rather the 12th man for the Indonesian side.
12, 13, 14, you can count it all together because they do create a large, loud atmosphere. But then again, a few years ago, the Lions would just crumble with this sort of pressure. But since the reign of Radi Abramovich, they have learned to play and not get intimidated in a cauldron like this. So it's a new resilience and the C word, the important C word, confidence that we're seeing in a Singapore side. It helps as well, Bernard, that you've won this tournament 2 times in a row.
And of course, the Lions are going for their 3rd straight title if they win this time around. Early challenger Ridwan Mohammed. Well, a little trip there, and referee R. Krishnan is going to award a free kick for Singapore. Pronario Astaman was the culprit of that occasion, and this certainly will call for an early set piece for Singapore.
Yeah, that's right. No, the Indonesians, the coach must have told the players, do not concede free kicks too easily, because the Singapore players love to float the ball right to the far post, maybe sometimes the near post. And this is where I was talking about earlier, Bernard. Take advantage of your height situation.
The Singapore team lining up for a free kick. Here comes the cross, and Baki Kaisam totally unmarked. Does absolutely so well to put that goal in, and Mark, you're absolutely right, using his height to big advantage there.
That's right, it's a case of deja vu. The last time these two sides met here, it was Singapore winning 3-1. It was an early Daniel Bennett goal. Another defender has scored it this time around by Haki Kaizan, but Bernard, the marking here was absolutely atrocious. Look at Haki Kaizan, he's going through, and look who's picking him out. No one at all. The defender wasn't following him, and they're not marking the space in front of them. They were just ball watching instead of looking at the man and the on-rushing player. It's an easy header, and by Haki, who doesn't score many goals, just to give him credit as well, that was a bullet finish.
Absolute bullet finish, totally unmarked, and certainly Haki Kaizan has put Singapore in the driving seat in this very early part of the game. And this certainly must have sent the entire Bangkano Stadium supporters shell-shocked.
It's the best way to quieten the home fans, although they can't hit back straight away with this corner. The best way to quieten the home fans with that early goal. They scored an early one, no alam Shah, I believe, against Myanmar. They continue doing this, it'll just go in good form for Singapore to just keep scoring early goals.
Well, pressure now on the Singapore team as Indonesia picks up its first corner. Isnan Ali will deliver a wicket left swinger into the penalty area. Poorly taken, well cleared by Bennett for Singapore. Some quick touches there from the Indonesian team. Bang Bang fails to connect with Firman on that occasion. Wilkinson now trying to send Indra Shadan free. Ball robbed off by Charish Gilianto.
Very unlucky. Indra Shadan, much better play by Singapore. It's what the Indonesians love doing best. They're very quick down the left-hand side, and they love spraying those 1-2 quick passes in midfield as well. So the Singapore backline will have to watch, and Isa Halim will have a tough job in front of him, marking and cutting out those loose passes and those incisive balls that Firman Utina loves to play from midfield.
Well, good check there from Ismail Sofian. A little nudge there from Agu Kashmir. And of course, Agu is not exactly the most favorite player here in this particular stadium.
Absolutely not. In this whole country as well. We know of his troubles with the Indonesians, Agu. But as I said in the earlier match against Myanmar, Bernard, Agu is a player who loves adverse conditions and intimidating cauldrons. And he just rises up to it. And he has been in this tournament. 4 goals so far. You can't argue against that.
Well, this is the danger man for Indonesia, Bang Bang. He's responsible for many of the goals that Indonesia have chalked up so far.
It's almost 1 goal in every 2 games that he scored for Indonesia in his international career. Great player that he is. I know Budi Sudarsono has been getting all the limelight because of his 4 goals in the tournament so far, but the work that Bambang Pamungkas puts in for the Indonesians is unheralded at times. His off-the-ball running is brilliant, and it's something that he has to do very often tonight to draw Precious and Baihaki out of their central position so that Budi Sudarsono and Arif Suyono can go into that empty spaces.
Ilham now for Indonesia. Teaming up well with Budi. Oh, there's a foul there. Isa Halim.
Tell you what, Bernard, it's a very good start by Singapore. I know the Indonesians are slowly getting back into this game and slowly taking control of it. But you have to go in with those challenges. You have to tell everybody that you're around. That's definitely a free kick, and he's lucky to escape with a booking after this challenge. But you have to let the opposition know that you're around, and you have to let the opposition know that you're not going to let up with any of those challenges. And Isa Halim, replacing Mustafiz Farudin, is doing exactly what Mustafiz would have done in that situation.
Benny Dolo, of course, not entirely pleased with some of the challenges, and perhaps a little worried about the condition of Budi, who is a critical player in this Indonesian setup.
He is indeed, with his goal-scoring ability. It's just peaking at the right time for this tournament. And do take note of this, Bernard, that Indonesia doesn't have a very good record in against Singapore in this ASEAN Football Championships. They haven't beaten Singapore yet in this tournament. The last time these two sides met, it was 2-2 at the National Stadium. Good thing for Indonesia is that in that game they had to come back from deficits twice to draw, so there is still hope. There is lots and lots of time for the Indonesians to come back.
A long-range attempt there, and Lionel Lewis does well to parry it away, and of course credit to Daniel Bennett for doing his defensive duties there. Early scares for Singapore, good effort. But Firman failed to get past Wilkinson on that occasion.
You made a very good point, Bernard. It was Daniel Bennett more than Lionel Lewis who was there, who was alert to the situation, because the pitch is slippery, the pitch is wet, and sometimes with Lionel Lewis, the crosses that come in, he does the right thing. You got to palm it away. This time it wasn't a convincing punch, because you usually punch it to your side. He punched it right in front of him, which could be a huge danger, but look how alert Daniel Bennett was, lunging in at the challenge, and even if he didn't get to the ball, he would have put the striker off.
Early scares for the Singapore team, still protecting their 1-goal lead in the second minute of play through Bayaki Kaizan against a very, very tough, determined Indonesian side. Bornayo finds Arif now.
Well, both flanks the Indonesians do very well. Bornayo, Ismet combining well down the right, and don't forget too, down the left they have that outlet of Isnan Ali and Muhammad Ilhan, who've got so much pace to burn. Can just race past you in a minute if you don't pay enough attention to them.
Arif losing up possession there to Shi Jiayi. Charish Yulianto. Poor pass to Isnan Ali.
Coach must be kicking him for that, the captain, because the Indonesians were building up some nice momentum going in after conceding that early goal. The Singaporeans now will have to know that the Indonesians will come back strong at them. What they have to do is to make sure that once they have the ball in these situations, hold it for a short little while, not with passes like that from Agu, but hold it for a short little while and enjoy the possession.
Ilham now, some space to work on. Gets past Isa Halim. Ilham finds Furman now, looking for the gap there. Arif, and Arif just failed to cue that ball there. Arif Suyono.
Poor finish from Arif Suyono. Did everything right, Indonesia. The build-up was great. I did talk about Ilan and his trickery. Teasing run from him down the left, going right through the heart of the Singapore defense, and it's a huge danger for Radi Abramovic to see his defense spread so very easily, and for that man at the far side to have that pot shot at goal. Sure, his eyes were lit up, but he had the option as well of drilling it right back where two players were waiting at the edge of the penalty box for a strike.
Ridwan Mohammed now gets back to Nur Rahman. Indra. Shi Jiayi goes for the long shot, and no trouble for keeper Marcus Angus.
Love to have Shi Jiayi keep the ball a little bit longer. Singapore just building up some nice rhythm with few passes that trick the Indonesian defense.
Arif now on the prowl, finds Furman. Jiayi and gave away a free kick.
Right in front of the referee as well, Bernard. You couldn't escape with that. That's something that the Lions did so well against Myanmar, which they haven't been doing yet against the Indonesians, which is to come in hard with the challenges and all the loose balls first to it. They haven't been able to do with the slick passing of the Indonesians, and they'll have to deal with it. The good news, though, is that the defense has kept a good shape so far, and all of Radi Abramovic's instructions have gone to T at the moment.
Well, at the moment, Singapore defense, a free kick that's absolutely at a dangerous position. Isnan Ali, so good with his left feet, alongside with Ismail Sufyan. Well, Isnan Ali's going to go for goal, and failed to keep it on target on that one.
He is good at his left foot, Isnan Ali. As I said, both him and Muhammad Ilhan look for them down the left-hand side to create havoc. But the good news for Singapore is that Muhammad Ridwan will have more opportunities to go forward, because the Indonesian left flankers, Isnan Ali and Muhammad Ilhan, they love going forward. It might leave space open for Muhammad Ridwan to just hold the play up down Singapore's right. He hasn't had the best of tournaments so far, Muhammad Ridwan, but this could be the match where he just comes of age.
Indra. Oh, this is Ilham now for Indonesia. Does well. Furman looking to get the ball to Budi, and no danger there. Lionel Lewis has it all covered.
That's a danger there. Someone's got to keep watch on this guy, Firman Utina. What a great player he is. We've seen in the first match when he scored a stunning goal against Myanmar. This guy dictates play, Firman, and it was this guy, Budi, who usually goes at the end of his crosses, and he just nips around players so very quickly. Not the best of touches by Budi Sudarsono. Should have just dragged the ball down to his right to create the angle and open his body up for the shots. But Firman Utina, Isa Halim will have his work cut out, but he's got to keep a very, very close watch on the Indonesian number 15.
Isa. No Rahman now. Gagu. Well, a bit too high there for Sejai.
Not the best of balls by Noor Rahman, Bernard. I just thought that he could have just stepped it on, put his foot on the ball, delayed it a little bit longer before that punch forward to Sejai. He got himself into a very good position, rounded the Indonesian defense, and kept himself onside too.
Daniel Bennett clears it to safety for Singapore. Ismail Sofian. Trying to pick up Bang Bang. Isdan Ali now. Some space to work on. Muhammad Robi. Ismail Sofian. Arif. Well, two men. Still, Firman gets past the two Singapore players there. Arif, and still in play there, clear to safety. What a dangerous cross there for Arif Suyono.
A little bit in front, and that would have been 1-all. I was just looking at it from afar, Bernard. The Singapore defense just stood and stood. They expected the midfielders to close down Firman Utina. They couldn't, and all of a sudden the players were set free. The defenders were watching the ball. They weren't picking up their men, and 3 Singapore players were in the penalty box marking no one, and Budi Sudarsono was so close to equalizing if the ball had just been in front instead of behind.
Ismail Sofian now. He's trying to pick out his tall front runners. Danger there for Singapore, and again Singapore let off in the 6-yard box. Precious is just furious with the defending.
He's got every reason to be as well. You know, when the ball was played inside, players committed themselves for it. But if you commit, 1 or 2 will still have to watch the men. And Bambang, of all people, had the opportunity, took it on his chest, didn't get the best of first touches, which was unfortunate. Singapore players will just have to be alert with their marking.
Well, the pressure is certainly piling up for the Singapore team now. Precious missed it. Daniel clears it. Robbie. Wilkinson. Oh, it's a free kick on that occasion. A challenge by Arif. It's getting a bit too physical for referee R. Krishnan's liking.
This is the time now. You play, 15 minutes, you're leading by a goal to nil. The home side slowly getting back into the game. It's a creepy feeling with the Indonesians just stepping up with their attacks. Now's the time to play it backwards, play it sideways, play the square passes, get everybody involved and get everybody with a touch of the ball. And no, they give it away once again. I mean, you can't give the ball away like that. It just takes someone to just dictate play from midfield. At the moment, the Singapore players, whenever they have the ball, they're giving it away like it's some illegal substance. They just can't throw it away and give it back because the Indonesians will peg them right back into the defensive third.
You're absolutely right, Mark. Well, ever since the second-minute goal, Singapore has been under some pressure, intense pressure, if I may add. And this is certainly a good spell for Indonesia. Clear the safety there by Noor Rahman. Throw in for Indonesia. Isdan Ali. Bernario. Ismail Sofian. Arif. Oh, poor judgment there from Arif.
That man is going to take the throw in for Singapore right now. Daniel Bennett, he's needed at the back because he's got all the experience in the world. Just to shout at his back line, look, we might be under pressure, but guys, Lionel Lewis has only been worked once. So the Indonesians, despite pressurizing, have not really been incisive with their attempts at goal.
Bernario. Ilham, well, he was brought down there by Nur Rahman, a tap on the ankle.
No reason to give away the free kick. He was going nowhere. He was looking for help. That's the reason why he stepped himself on the ball and held it up for a short while. Nur Rahman, unnecessary free kick to give away.
Booty now. Well, good play there on that occasion by Bayaki. Trying all the tricks to get past the Singapore centre-back there.
On a better pitch, he would have got past Bayaki Kaizan, but it's a little heavy. Pitch soggy as well. Good work at the moment from Bayaki Kaizan and Precious. Two of them have been quite steady at the back. They haven't got past them. It's the two fullbacks that have to be a little bit worried. Both Daniel Bennett and Nur Rahman. The Indonesians have just been getting around them a little too easily. And the midfield battle is won by the Indonesians at the moment. Isa Halim will need a bigger and more attentive game from him.
Well, a challenge there on Bernario.
I'd like to see that again.
Certainly looked like Agu was involved there.
I'd like to see that again, Bernard. He's claiming his innocence, and I do believe him because I think he was going for the ball. It was just a very, very late challenge. Bernario got to the ball first, and it's just that Agu leg which was trailed behind a little bit, which made contact with Bernario. There we go.
Watches again. Well,
there we go. Nothing wrong with that. He stepped on that leg. He stepped on that leg while it was on the ground, but he wasn't looking at that leg, and so he stepped on it accidentally. Just gets the crowd going against him a little bit more, and the Indonesians want that to happen.
Play resumes, and Wilkinson sportingly sends the ball back to Indonesia. The keeper, Marcus.
As you can see, the last 3 or 4 minutes, the attacks have slowly petered down. The Singapore team right now will have to use this situation where the Indonesians have got into a lull as far as the offensive is concerned, to just gain their shape a little bit and gain control of a midfield which they've totally lost after scoring in the early stages.
A long hopeful ball looking for Ilham. Failed to control that one on that occasion, Muhammad Ilham. Bayaki. Agu.
Came from an offside position. Good decision by the assistant referee. But the Indonesians are just swarming forward. It's not good news for this guy. He won the midfield to go a little bit closer to help out the defense. Sometimes it's a little too far forward. And both Agu and Indra got to do the defending from the front, something which both Agu and Noah Alam Shah did very well against Myanmar. We haven't seen much of it yet in this game against the Indonesians.
Well, Agu is very much functioning all by himself up front, with Indra Shadam playing in a far more withdrawn position.
Yes, it's a good point there, Bernard. And because of that, I think they're playing too far away from one another. At time they were close by, but Indra couldn't get to the ball. But, you know, if your strikers are playing too far away from one another, you can't get those 1-2s going. And because of that, you always have to look for that long ball for your front man, which is Agu Kashmir. And he's not the biggest of front men.
Ismail Sofian now. Put out the safety there by Wilkinson, who must be credited for the excellent free kick that he picked up to Bayaki Kaizan in the second minute for Singapore's opening goal.
He does bring a lot of energy to the Singapore midfield. He'll never ever stop running, John Wilkinson. That's something that you get from John Wilkinson, it's endeavour. Good lad, good boy. Muhammad Ridwan controlled that superbly, waited for the foul, gained the free kick. More time now to lay the shape. Good 5-minute spell for Singapore. Just curbed the Indonesians, and the crowd have gone quiet again.
Bennett. Finds Wilkinson now. Two red-shirted players closing down on him very quickly. Budi, and was there a challenge by Isa Halim?
That was a nothing challenge, Bernard. Both players didn't know where the ball was going. It certainly doesn't deserve a yellow card. I don't even think it deserved a free kick in the first place.
Well, referee, of course, deemed that differently. Isa Halim has been shown the yellow card for the challenge on Budi.
Look at it. There's nothing. He was trying to protect the ball for a little while. He didn't even know where the ball was when he finally found out. Now, how could he get out of the way of Budi Sudarsono? He could not get out of the way quick enough. And even if he had gotten out of the way, the Singapore centre-back, I think it was Precious, was favoured to get to the ball. Wasn't even a free kick for me.
Isa Halim picking up his the first yellow card for Singapore. Indra now does well to get past, but
now that's a free kick.
No foul this time around, says the referee.
Like, see the referee's position there. He wasn't even 10 meters close by. That was a free kick.
It's like a very late challenge there on that occasion from Charish Ilianto. Throw in for Singapore.
I talked about the good spell. Isa Halim, not best of yellow cards to receive, especially if you're supposed to be marking someone in the form of Firman Otina, because you will have to come in with your challenges.
This is Agu now, gets past Mohammad Robi there, and of course who recovered really quickly.
Something that we saw Agu do so very well against Myanmar. Hold the ball up, and within the moments, within a blink of an eye, he's off just like that, sprinting past his defenders. And that time he got the call on Mohammad Robi. He is asking for a penalty, but he got ball, and it's a corner for Singapore. Chance to use that height advantage again.
Singapore's opening goal came out of a set piece, and certainly they will hope to work towards another successful set piece this time. But a long clearance there, and a good attempt there from Mohammad Ridwan. Totally marked outside, some space to work on, but this time just failed to get past keeper Marcus.
Well, he did the first thing right, Mohammad Ridwan, which is to get it on target, make the goalkeeper work a little bit. Just not enough venom in the shot in the end of the day. A much better play from Singapore. And they had someone outside the penalty box getting to the loose ball, which is a good sign.
Well, the pressure on Isa Halim is certainly mounted as he watches again. Mohammad Ridwan does well to keep it on target, I must say, Mark.
Yeah, he does well. Just not enough conviction in that shot. Just need that confidence that he will get it on target and then put some power behind it. Either side of the goalkeeper, that's 2-0.
Well, Indonesia on the proud again this time. Good work there from Muhammad Nur Rahman to cut back on the run from Muhammad Ilham.
That's what I like about Muhammad Nur Rahman. It's so hard to get past him. Against Myanmar, he was just a little off colour, but it's so hard to get past him. Once you go past him, you got to send the cross in straight away. You can't give him a second chance, because he will bite back at you and he'll tackle, even if it means conceding a corner or a throw in.
Ismail Sofia now with the corner for Indonesia, and Lionel Lewis has to push it away, taking no chances at all. Shi Jiayi will complete the clearance.
It's dangerous there from Lionel Lewis. He totally misjudged the flight of the ball. That's the reason why he palmed it behind him.
Mohammad Robi to Firman.
One thing that I've seen Lionel lacking in since his back injury. He doesn't command the penalty box the same way he used to, and he was one of the top 10 players of goalkeepers in Asia. He just come out, call, he just claim it so easily. These days he's a little bit more worried about the clashes, but the confidence will come back. I still believe he is the best goalkeeper in this region. See, much better play from the Singapore midfield earlier on, around about the 15-minute mark. It was just players passing the ball around. They had so much space in midfield. This time, the fact that the defender has got to go back to the goalkeeper is a good sign that the midfielders are doing their job and picking their players up.
Firman to Isnan Ali. And even Furman is falling deep now.
He's got to get involved with the play, Furman. They need to get him on the ball.
Arif failed to get past Bennett. This is Arif now. Precious missed it, and Bang could pick up the pass there. This is Bang again now. He's onside, Bang. And this time around, Bayaki Kaizan does well to keep Bang from creating that, from turning and getting the ball across.
Yes, good work by Haki Kaizan. Once you lose the flight of the ball, he did not stand there and protest and ask for the offside to be given. He carried on with play. He was watching the ball all the way and didn't come in with a silly challenge. Waited till Bang pulled the trigger and just put his body in the way of the cross. Blocked the angles.
Wilkinson with the header. Istan Ali now goes for the right cross this time, and Bennett is there, no trouble. Furman. Bennett again does his defensive duties excellently tonight.
I can watch Furman Atina play all day long. I tell you, there's a little bit of a fracas going on here. But Furman Atina, I mean, his eye for a pass is just amazing. His vision is impeccable. 3 players surrounding him. I don't know how he threaded through the needle then.
Lionel Lewis came right out, and there is a protest from the Singapore backline that perhaps Budi on that occasion was guilty of perhaps handling the ball, and referee has shown the yellow card without any hesitation to the number 13 man for Indonesia, Budi Sudarsono.
It's an unnecessary yellow card to pick out. I'd like to see that. The referee says handball. Let's have a look at this again. Once again, Lionel Lewis goes up. Yeah, good call by the referee. Very, very good call. I was thinking, why is Lionel Lewis losing out in the header to him? Budi had a look behind him and saw Lionel Lewis coming out, and he thought, okay, I'm not going to get to it. Let's just get the crowd excited by flipping it over Lionel Lewis. Good work by the referee.
A needless yellow card for Budi. Well, the longer it takes for the Indonesian team to find the equalizer, I'm sure the pressure will be increased, especially from this huge local turnout supporters.
It's not as fiery as I thought it'll be years gone by. The Senayan Stadium, you just don't want to even step inside there. But these days, it's not as fiery, it's not as packed out, but still, it's a very intimidating atmosphere to play in. And the Indonesians will need the crowd to just step it up a little bit if they're going to get into this game.
Just after the halfway mark now, 30 minutes of play gone by. Singapore still leads by the 1 goal from Bayaki Kaizan in the 2nd minute of play.
And the good news, Bernard, is that Lionel Lewis has only been worked once, I remember, from a free kick.
Arif now trying to get past by Haki, who does well to check that cross. And this time, Tolia marked there, Bang. Was he pushed there as protesting to the referee that he perhaps was an infringement? In fact, Bang was pretty clear and wide and not marked.
You're right there. He was coming from deep, and the defender had to keep more vigil watch on both Bang and the ball. I think it was Noor Rahman then. If you want to attack the ball and put your body there to make it difficult for the striker, but Noor Rahman just stood still, cemented to the grass, and Bang just misjudged the flight of the ball more than anything else. That's what he was frustrated about.
Noor Rahman. Agu. Was a challenge from Agu.
Fortunate, I didn't think it was a free kick. He used his body very well, and he's not too happy with the assistant referee's decision, but he wasn't too far away and he flagged it up immediately.
Furman now. Arif. Pornario. Ismail Sofian are looking for the turn there. Furman. Isa Halim stuck to his job there. Pornario looking for Ilham now. Failed to get past Noor Rahman. Good defensive work from Noor Rahman.
Read it all the way, didn't he? Just waited for it, knew that Ilham was always going to go out to the byline. But this is much better play from Singapore. Just force the Indonesians into hitting the long ball, which the Singaporeans will gobble up any day in the defense. This is the time, Bernard. Step on it. Take control. Take your time. Don't just give it away.
So lead the Singapore team there, composing themselves now. Cleared safety there from Cherish Yulianto.
They've done okay so far, both Charis and Mohamed Robi. I think a lot of it's got to do with the fact that Singapore has had all the defending to do all this while. As I said at the start of the game, they don't have enough midfielders, both Furman, Ponario. They're not really defensive midfielders who'll protect the back four, and Singapore will have to take advantage of that.
Arif does well to get past his man now. Some space to work on. Arif looking for the cross there, and well covered from Bayaki, of course. And Budi was just waiting to put that past Lionel Lewis.
I did talk about defenders being vigilant, not just to the opponent, but also to the ball. That time Bayaki did everything that was needed of him as a centre-back. Budi Sudarsono just got a little bit of an inch in front of him. The cross was a good one. Played just behind the defenders, and Bayaki did everything right. He went for the ball and ensured that even if Budi Sudarsono had got to it, the angle was covered.
Bayaki again clears to safety for Singapore now. This is Isa Halim. Oh yeah, Agu does well to hold the possession.
Wrong option. Had a play on the other side. It was Mohamed Ridwan who was asking for the ball. It was in acres of space. But you're right, he did well to hold it up in the first place against two defenders.
Firmanutina. Budi alongside with Arif now. Ponario, the cheeky little chip that well done by Haki. Wilkinson on that occasion clears it to safety for Singapore, and Agu is offside.
Yeah, he was offside by a mile. Much better work. I hear you mentioning that name quite often tonight, Bernard, Bayaki Kaizan. He has been my star man in this first half so far. Not just the fact that he's got Singapore's goal, lone goal in this game, but his defending so far has been very stout and very resilient.
Noor Rahman clears it. Working with Bayaki once again. Ismail Sofian. Arif. He's very quick on the right side. Cuts back in there. Trying to pick out Budi and Arif, and no power in that attempt. Easily picked up by Lionel Lewis.
Challenges came in at the right time, but the Singaporeans have to watch, especially down this right-hand side. Arif has got Daniel Bennett's number tonight. Daniel's not the fastest when it comes to the turns, and look, every time he cuts inside, a central midfielder needs to be there, whether it's Isa Halim or Sutiai, just helping Daniel Bennett out, because John Wilkinson has been drawn to the outside already. One of the central midfielders will have to come in, because Arif is definitely going to attack the space if no one is there.
Wilkinson, of course, is running all over the challenge on Isnan Ali. It's not too pleasing to the referee. A free kick awarded to Indonesia. Furman.
Good boy, Isa Halim. Went very close, body to body with Firmanutina. He's always favoured to get to the ball. And that was a free kick, which slows the game down a little bit, much to this man's frustration. They've done well so far, Singapore. No, he keeps shouting instructions. Even
not this man.
Yes, even in this noisy stadium, you still can hear Adi Avramovic. He's a quiet man off the pitch. The pleasure of interviewing him a few times, Bernard. You could hardly hear him through the microphones, but when he's on the pitch, he's a real lion out there. But he'll be happy because the Lions have kept their shape. It's a good thing about it. They have kept their shape. Just needs a little bit more challenges from the midfield to come in, especially when that man who's got the ball now, Firman Utina, has possession of it. And they just need that confidence there to hold the ball, the young Lions, and take those challenges.
Well, as the game drags on, especially into the second half, the pressure will be there for the Indonesians to come on even stronger, and therefore leaving gaps behind.
You're right there, and they have to exploit it when they leave gaps behind, especially when Firman and Ponario come forward.
Wilkinson now going for the long-range attempt.
Uncalled for. I don't think he's too happy with it, Adi Avramovic. That's totally uncalled for from John Wilkinson. Play it around, go down the flanks. The Indonesian defenders are good. The flanks, the fullbacks are good coming forward, but you can take them on for a run. Try doing that.
Arif Suyono now. They'll fail to find Budi.
He's had a good first half so far. Arif Suyono has been Indonesia's star player. Everything good has come down this right-hand side, but Budi Sudarsono has just failed to get in front of Baihaki Kaizan, who must be given credit for keeping a very close watch on him. And every time that Budi Sudarsono has got a little bit of an inch over Baihaki Kaizan, Baihaki gets back in time. Not just with a tackle, he doesn't go in with those silly challenges, but to block the angles of either a cross, a cutback or a shot.
Well, in fact, Mark, one player who is very, very quiet so far is Bang Bang.
Absolutely right.
He's having an absolutely quiet game by his high standards.
And he has to get involved a little bit more because the Indonesian midfielders are getting involved and he's making all the runs off the ball, but they're not finding him.
Arif now. He's got Firman behind him. No, goes for it across from Arif and too close to Lionel Lewis.
Great play by Sutiai. It was him against Daniel Bennett, and all of a sudden Sutiai offered a little bit of help coming from central midfield. Because of that, Arif couldn't cut back inside and couldn't cut back at all to any players waiting outside the penalty box to exploit with a shot. He had to go for the near post and Lionel Lewis, and Lionel will not be beaten by his near post.
Well, under 5 minutes of regulation time for the first half. Singapore still leads by the second minute goal from Baihaki Kaizan.
Ball for Daniel. It's more experienced head like Daniel Bennett, and his high standards, that is not the best of passes. He's hold it a little while, and Agu Kasmer actually did make a move around his two defensive markers, find some space down the left-hand side, a little dink over those defenders, and he would have been free.
Istan Ali does well to fight off the challenge from Mohamed Ridwan there. Ilham. Istan Ali now. Mohamed Robbie. Oh, he's pushing up as well. Nicely brought down there from Budi. This is Arif Suyono looking for another cross now. Budi, of course, failed to control the header. Still in possession for Indonesia. This is Ilham. Looking for a return cross, perhaps. Ismail Sofian. Arif again. Has got Bennett with him. A cross coming in. And this time around, no danger. The ball goes out for play. And Budi and this man, Bang Bang, will be getting all the support, but somehow not being able to turn those crosses into goals.
And it's all because when you put a ball high up in the penalty box, Precious and Baihaki will always be favoured to get to it. They have to find a way to get round the Singapore fullbacks to the byline for the cutbacks. They look dangerous every time the ball is played along the ground behind the Singapore defence.
Shi. Oh, does well to hold the possession.
Good play. Very good play, Bernard.
Wouldn't say free kick.
We know what happened in the second minute from a free kick in an almost similar position from this. A good work by Shi, as I said. Needs someone to just have that confidence and the ability to hold the ball for a short while, invite those challenges. Indonesians are a little impatient to get the ball back. And that time the guilty party was Ilhan. Wanted the ball back so desperately, conceded the free kick. Guess who's at the edge of the penalty box? Mr. number 3.
Bayaki Kaizan, of course, hoping for a second opportunity to perhaps increase his tally and Singapore's tally. Well, good challenge from Wilkinson. Oh, he's protesting. A referee says that's a foul on Furman. And of course, Wilkinson.
He's shouting at the referee. We could hear him say, I've got the ball. He's got a point there. I think it was his trailing leg, his left foot, which is just a little too high on Furman Atina.
Furman. Small Sofian. It's done Ali now. Oh, Bang falling deep and no, Rahman clears it for Singapore. Mohammad Ridwan now. Does well to release Indra Shadan. This is a good break for Singapore. Indra Shadan, here we go, and almost, well, Indra couldn't find Agu Kashmir. Perhaps a little selfish. Indra was going for a goal himself.
That's right, almost ended the first half the way they started at Singapore, and that was a chance, I tell you. Indra Shadan, he had every reason to take this shot. He had players in the box, but a cross-come shot, nothing wrong with that. Just a little bit too much in front of Agu Kashmir. Otherwise, it might have been goal number 5 for Singapore's number 11.
Indra Shadan with a great opportunity to increase Singapore's lead. Failed to take advantage. Well, this is Furman now for Indonesia. Cross coming in, and this is dangerous. Bang does well to connect with the cross, and he just can't believe it.
I tell you, Bernard, give credit there for Noor Rahman. Knew he was going to get to the ball. He knew he was going to be second best. He knew that Bambang's going to get to it first, and Bambang would have appreciated the cross with a more wicked swerve on it. This one was looping, and because of that, he's got to create some power with his very own neck muscles. Hard to do, but Noor Rahman just stuck his body there, didn't move at all, and because of that, the resistance was there, and it was always going to be difficult with Bambang Pamungkas. And give credit to this man as well. He came out and really made himself huge.
A mark credit to number 15 Furman as well. What a delicate cross from Furman. Well, absolutely spot on.
As I said, I could watch him play all day. That guy is just a delight to watch from midfield, breaking away, and his eye for the pass has been a huge, huge feature of the Indonesian team this whole tournament.
Well, 2 minutes of time added on in this first half. The final Group A matchup. This is Bang again now. He's got Precious with him. This is Arif. Oh, good work from Jai.
Made a good call there. Bambang's got Precious with him, and that's what Bambang does very, very well. The problem is Indonesia is that he's been doing it all match long. He's been drawing Precious out to the wide areas, but the players just haven't found him yet with those passes.
Well, here goes Agu again, all by himself, taking on 3 Indonesian players. Agu Kashmir still holding on to possession. Or failed to find a blue-shirted player.
Does everything right. Agu Kashmir has been really frustrated with the lack of support, though, as he held the ball up and did everything he could to try to bring his teammates into play. When he cuts the ball outside like that, one player, at least one player, has to be running side by side with him. And maybe the energy levels having to defend so deep, the Singapore team is just slowly catching up on the Lions.
Budi now with the last search attempt. Budi.
Brilliant. That man again, I believe, the number 3.
Bayaki Kaizan.
Man of the first half for me.
Stuck to his duties there. Kept his eyes on the ball all the way through. And this will be the final attempt by Indonesia to search for an equalizing goal. Quickly taken and quickly cleared there by Singapore. Well, the time added on is up. Will referee continue play? Still in possession for Indonesia. The referee is not blowing for halftime yet. Well, R. Krishnan has finally blown for halftime. It is, of course, a one-goal lead for Singapore in the first half, courtesy of number 3 man Bayaki Kaizan.
And it's not just the goal he scored, but the way he's defended as well. Budi Sudarsono has had nothing in exchange with Bayaki Kaizan. He's had Budi Sudarsono's number all match long. And as you'd expect, Indonesia trailing, trying their best to get into the game. But the good thing about Singapore and for Radi Abramovich, ever since he's become coach, the Singapore side has known, and they now have an in-depth knowledge of how to keep a shape that's given out by the coach.
Well, the second half will continue shortly. Halftime score right now, Indonesia 0, Singapore 1. It's from the Bang Karno Stadium, 2008 AFF Suzuki Cup right here on Channel 5. In Jakarta, Indonesia, this is the 2008 AFF Suzuki Cup coverage here on Channel 5. The vital matchup between Indonesia and Singapore. The final Group A matches in this round, of course. Both sides need to secure a victory. In fact, Singapore needs only a draw, whereas Indonesia will need a victory in order to top this particular group, so as to avoid Thailand, the hot favorite in this competition, likely to top Group B, as the final stages of the games will be played tomorrow over in Phuket. Well, first half, Singapore still lead by the second-minute goal from Bayaki Kaizan of a dead ball situation, as many of these supporters here and of course the Indonesian team will be hoping to reverse the scoreline in the second 45 minutes and perhaps bring on a morale-boosting victory over Singapore, their traditional arch rivals here in this competition.
It's strange, isn't it, Bernard? Indonesian producer has decided to show shots of these Singapore defenders, and Lionel Lewis almost predicting that they're going to be very busy in the second half. For the sake of the home fans, they certainly hope it will be, because while Indonesia have played some pretty football, especially in the middle of the park, and just laid siege on the Singapore goal after the second-minute goal that they conceded, they really haven't attacked Lionel Lewis and worked him hard enough. They've been toothless up front, with both Budi Sudarsono and Bambang especially been very, very quiet so far. But going back to the goal again, it's just very poor marking on by Bayaki Kaizan. It could be like the first minute of play, second minute of play, they're getting their defense sorted out, but they got one of their smallest men to follow by Bayaki Kaizan, and they just weren't marking the ball when it was floated in. Just had no awareness whatsoever. It was a free header from Bayaki, but boy did he bury it.
Well, second half proceedings just got underway from referee R. Krishnan from Malaysia.
And Singapore have got to watch the opening 5-10 minutes of the second half, because the Indonesians will come at them in the same way that Myanmar had as well in their earlier game, and the Singaporeans just allow them to do so. Now they can't allow this to happen, and they have to keep that same tempo which they had in the opening couple of minutes when they unnerved the Indonesian defense and kept the home crowd very, very quiet.
Well, you mentioned Myanmar, Mark. In the other game that's playing concurrently right now, Myanmar is leading Cambodia by 2-1. Well, Ridwan Muhammad, a total missed kick there. And the fans just jeered and booed. But I'm sure for this young lad, it's not going to trouble him at all. Muhammad Ridwan.
I'd like to see him get up with a little smile on his face after that. You're leading by 1-0. The Indonesian fans jeer you a little bit. It's fine. Does get the crowd going a little bit, though.
Arif now finds Ismail Sofian. Good ball there. This is a cross coming in. Well, was he going for a goal or was he going for a cross there? That's Ponario.
A disappointing end. It was a fabulous burst through in midfield by Ponario. Isa Halim just didn't watch it for a little second, and Ponario had all the space in the world. Just needed some composure then. His decision making had let him down at that time. It's just that split second he was a little unsure whether to go for a shot at goal maybe to cut it back or just float it back inside the box. It was neither in the end.
Shi Jiayi now. Oh, Furman first to the ball there. Arif. Oh, robbed of the ball there from Wilkinson.
That's what Wilkinson's got to do more often in the second half, just to track back a little bit, help Daniel Bennett out, because this guy has been running rings around Daniel Bennett in the first half. Out of Suyono was certainly Indonesia's best player in the first 45.
Wilkinson losing out there. Furman now for Indonesia. Some space to work on. Furman, this is dangerous. Oh, good work from Nur Rahman. Cutting out the through ball from Furman.
It was very good play by Nur Rahman. They're trying to step up together, keep a steady line, Singapore in the back. At the same time, they have to watch those through passes. And sometimes when you're too congested in your penalty box, that's where you need your players just to watch as well. That's wide outside. There isn't an opponent waiting to deliver a killing wicked cross into the penalty box.
Well, lots to be on this guy, Bang Bang, to search for the equalizing goal for Indonesia. Such a lethal striker for Indonesia. Ismail Sofian now. With the in-swinger. Good ball coming through there, and Lionel Lewis is fortunate to pick up that one.
Much better play from Lionel, although they have to be a little bit worried because there was an Indonesian player just ahead of him. Was totally unmarked in the 6-yard box. That's a crime. You can't leave any player unmarked in the 6-yard box.
Indra Shada now for Singapore, and is he brought down there? Well, looks like he's challenged. Well, Robbie just went for the tackle. He had no choice but to bring the Singapore number 10 men down.
It's something that I touched on in the first half, Bernard, about the front two playing close together. Look what happened there. Both Agu and Indra so close together. When the ball fell loose, Indra was first to it, and we know what he can do. Such an instinctive striker, Indra Sharan. Scott nipped it away from his marker. And, well, we had a good start in the first half with a floated free kick inside. Here's another opportunity. The Indonesian coach, as I said, must have told his players, do not give free kicks away in this situation. It'll just benefit the Singaporeans.
So is it going to be Shi Jiayi or Wilkinson now? Because both Singapore players can send those wicked curlers in. Jiayi. And Jiayi goes for goal. Goal number 2 for Singapore. Absolutely delighted there, Shi Jiayi. What a well-taken free kick there.
I think the keeper must have seen it very, very late, but we've seen it all season long when he was playing for Home United in the S League. He does strike a cultured free kick, either around the wall or straight through it. He went straight through that time, and the goalkeeper's got to take all the blame. I mean, you've set up the wall like that. You don't stand behind it. You mark and you guard the place where there is a gap. He wasn't there guarding it. Shi Jiayi went for it, and it was bullet-like. And there's no chance in hell the goalkeeper is going to track back in time. It was poor positioning by the goalkeeper, Marcus Dina Agus. He's got to take all the blame for that goal.
Shi Jiayi's very first goal in this competition so far. And what an important goal this is turning out to be for Singapore, as this certainly sets the entire second half into a different perspective altogether.
You're right, Bernard. It's something that the Lions needed. Get an early second half goal. Now it's 2-0. It's a dangerous lead, I know, but it quietens the crowd down a little bit, just demoralizes the Indonesian. And now watch the Indonesians slowly trying to fight their way back, but it's a 2-goal deficit that they're facing.
Well, the Indonesian, of course, apart from getting a credible result tonight, very much have revenge on their minds as well against Singapore in this match.
Yes, they lost here 3-1. It's a 2-goal scoreline as well the last time at this stadium. Let's not forget they haven't beaten Singapore yet in the ASEAN Football Championships.
And this will certainly be a huge blow to their morale, even though they know fully well that they have qualified for the semi-finals. Agu now. Chasing for the ball as always. Clear there to safety by Marcus.
Good outlet he always is, Agu Kazmir. always offers himself up front, and Daniel Bennett's found him that time with a delicate little left footer just behind the defense.
Oh, Agu does well to find Mohammad Ridwan, and Mohammad Ridwan certainly should have kept that on target.
You're right, Bernard. Get it on target at least. That was brilliant play by Agu Kasmir, taking advantage of the fact that there's no offside from a throw, getting free of his marker, and Ridwan made the right run diagonally across into the penalty box, received it just right. Just needed a cool head though with the finish. He's dragged it wide with his body positioning all wrong.
What an excellent opportunity for Mohammad Ridwan there to get his very first goal in this competition. Just like Bayaki Kaizan and Shi Jiayi. That certainly would have set this match in Singapore's way if it has been goal number 3.
That would have finished the game. I don't think Indonesia can come back from a 3-goal deficit.
Well, a 2-goal lead is certainly what some of these players, and especially Radi Avramovic, must be very, very thankful for. And certainly at the 53rd minute of play, certainly didn't expect the Singapore team to lead by 2 goals.
And also it's that belief in the Singapore side. This win here does also give them that confidence that they can come to a stadium like this and get a result against the Indonesians. It's that firm belief which they need going into the Final Four, facing against most likely Vietnam if they win this game. So remember, you have to play at most likely, if you're a group winner, the first game away from home.
Well, Indra does well. Losing out possession. This is Pernario. Ilham now for Indonesia. He's got Isa Halim sticking onto him.
I tell you, that's something of Indra Sharan that I like so much of the boy. He works so hard for the team. Something that just goes unnoticed at times. The kind of running that he does up front, the defending from the front, and making sure that he fights for every loose ball and doesn't give the defenders any time to dwell on the ball at all.
Bang Bang. Budi. Furman now. Pernario. A little too casual there for Mohammad Ridwan. Ilham does well to hold the possession. Ilham and Bayaki Kaizan was there.
Great work by Bayhaki, Bernard. I mean, that ball, you're absolutely right. Ridwan gave a hospital ball, but even then, Nur Rahman should have been more convincing with his clearance, at least slam it against the Indonesian player. But he withdrew from that 50-50 challenge, and the Indonesian player, Ilan, almost got it to the edge of the box and to the byline where they're so very dangerous. Bayhaki was there yet again. Quite surprised with this substitution. I thought AFF Suyono was probably Indonesia's best player in the first half.
Errol Iba has been slotted in to take on AFF Suyono. Some fresh legs perhaps on the right side for Indonesia.
And he's a good player as well. Errol Iba, lots of pace about him. It's just that final ball from Errol Iba every time lets him down. We've seen it at the SEA Games last year as well. It's that final pass just isn't there from him.
Furman. Or rather, Isnan Ali. Pernario. Well, a challenge there from Ilham. Referee's not pleased with the challenge.
A little tactical switch from the coach. Ilham now plays down the right-hand side, attacking Daniel Bennett. Errol Iba, natural left footer, now goes to the left flank. So with 2 natural players down their flanks, right and left, he's actually going for more width and hopefully to whip in more crosses. But as I said, whipping the crosses, Singaporeans will always have that advantage. What they have to do is to get to that byline.
Mohammad Ridwan now using his speed to take advantage. Here goes Mohammad Ridwan, and Went for goals all by himself. Mohammad Robi, of course, closing him down very quickly.
It's unfortunate then. Mohammad Ridwan's pitch had really robbed him of a goal. Look at the bobble of the ball right there. So if he had taken the ball and pushed it a little further, his pace would have got him past both Robi and Charis Yulianto. He had all the space in the world. We saw that burst of speed which he is famed for, Mohammad Ridwan. Just that pitch bobbling up a little bit, slowing him down. Otherwise he might have been through on goal, one-on-one with the keeper.
Budi. Izdan Ali. Pernario. Firman. Clear the safety by Precious.
Didn't read it. Budi Surasono could see it coming from a mile away that he's going to put that ball into that pocket. Budi Surasono went wide instead, where Errol Iba was. Not really great movement from the centre forward.
Well, he's Ali now. Finds Errol Iba.
That's what I was talking about, Errol Iba. It's a thing that lets him down all the time. That decision making in the final third, the offensive third. That time, looking across the line, he had no reason to be in an offside position. There you go. He still had to glance across the line. You might complain that the pass came in a little bit late, but still glance across the line and know that you're in an offside position.
Well, almost an hour play gone by. Singapore leads by 2-0. 2 early goals in both halves by Aki Kaizan in the second minute. And of course, the early second half goal by Shi Jiayi, both from dead ball situations. And are those 2 goals good enough to secure Singapore's victory tonight and avoid the mighty ties in the semi-finals?
Well, as I said earlier on, it's not just the ties that they need to avoid, but the confidence in coming to this stadium and winning. Radi Avramovic, what a great job he's done with the Lions. If you think about it, just through that penultimate final stage of qualifying for the World Cup group as well.
Well, Lionel Lewis, plucked the ball from the air now confidently. Agu. A wasted ball.
Just heard Radi Avramovic saying keep ball, and Noor Rahman gave it straight to the goalkeeper. I think it must be frustrating for Avramovic to see that happen, because they went through a nice passage of play between Ridwan Agu and then back to Noor Rahman. They have a 2-goal lead. Just keep the ball and ensure that the Indonesians come and get it. And once they come and get it, it might open some space up front for their very quick forwards to exploit. But they first need to keep the ball.
Charis Yulianto. Ismail Sofian. He's got Ilham supporting him. No, decides to pick up Budi instead now. Precious does well. Well, Mohammad Ridwan now on the break. Holding on the possession. Slowing things down. Indra. Finds Wilkinson on that occasion. Wilkinson is put through, and Agu Kashmir certainly did not expect the cross to come through.
How good was that pass from Indra Shadan? Saw players up front moving left, right, looked to the left and saw a player wide outside. The Indonesians expected him to go wide and keep the ball a little longer, and that little incisive pass which split the defense wide open, and Agu Kashmir, to be honest with you, should have done much better with the finish. He went for the extravagant flick. Maybe he could have just either controlled it, shielded it, tried for a shot at goal.
This is Newman Aliuddin right now. Aliuddin with the first attempt at goal, first touch of the ball as well, teaming up well with this guy Prenorio. Of course, Aliuddin has been slotted in to take over a very, very disappointed Bang Bang. And his first touch of the ball almost. Prenorio, of course, having a good game so far tonight.
Mohammad Ridwan really has to watch there, because if you're looking at from where we are right here in the commentator's booth, it was a wide open Errol Iba down the left-hand side for the Indonesians. Mohammad Noor Rahman had been dragged into the penalty box. Mohammad Ridwan has got to track back a little bit more to help his right full-back out. Because if Ponoyo had just looked up and squared the ball out wide, this guy Errol would have had the whole goal and just Lionel Lewis to beat and aim at.
Noor Rahman will throw it to Singapore again.
This will do fine for the Lions. Keep possession of play, slowly inch their way forward into the Indonesian defensive third. Well, they always give it to the defenders. Body challenges with Agu Kazmir. He's done well again this evening. He's looked a little tired, having played, 3 matches? This is his 3rd match in a row in the space of 6 days. Agu Kazmir, otherwise the energy levels are still okay. Does draw the defenders out wide and really should have scored after that Johnny Wilkinson cutback.
Iba now. That's where they get past Isa Halim. Cross coming in there, and Budi, and well, Lionel Lewis first to the ball there. Budi, of course, failed to connect with a cross coming through first time.
It was always going to be Lionel's ball as that cross came through. But look at by Haki Kaizan. Is it Daniel Bennett coming back in time? Notice the danger down the left-hand side. That's great awareness by Daniel Bennett. When that ball was played, if Daniel hadn't got back there in time, it would have been a wide open shot for Muhammad Ilan.
Furman now finds Budi. Ilham. Well checked by Bennett. Ilham. That's where they get into position right now. Ilham Budi. Missed kick. Baki Kaizan to the rescue for Singapore.
Again, it's the awareness in defense that I'm so impressed with. And by Haki Kaizan wasn't just watching the ball, because he knew he had defenders in front of him, looking and waiting for the cutback, watching it all the way. So he goes to a player who was unmarked, and that time it was Budi. And before Budi could take a shot, there was Baihaki's body. Great defensive work by Baihaki Kaizan. I know I've been a huge critic of Baihaki every once in a while, but tonight he has played outstanding in that Singapore backline.
A certain clear choice, perhaps, for man of the match for tonight. Started the game impressively with the opening goal for Singapore by Aki Kaizan. Well, Budi now. That's where they get past Noor Rahman. A good challenge from Bennett. A critical challenge there. Alauddin was just lurking behind. Alauddin, of course, slotted in to take on Bambang. Well, Indonesia on the proud again now. Ilham. This time, it's keeper's ball.
It's well protected by his defense, especially by Haki Kaizan. Both him and Precious just been blocking the path, making sure that all the loose balls in the 6-yard box is picked up by Lionel Lewis. So he's had a rather quiet night so far, despite the Indonesians dominating. And that's a huge, huge credit to the Singapore defense. Especially this man on the ball, Bernard. I have been very impressed with Baihaki Kaizan tonight, I have to say.
Oh, this game started the best way possible to score the opening goal for Singapore.
Well, it's the best shot of confidence you can get as a central defender.
Oh, Furman does where they get past Isan now. His pace is going to trouble Singapore now. This is Baihaki again, checking on Ilham. Well, didn't touch him, no foul, says the referee. Furman goes down. Referee says play on.
He's a cheeky player, I tell you, Furman. He was tumbling. If he had fallen down outside the penalty box, the referee might have given it, but he waited and waited before he hit, and he saw the white line, and he says, all right, it's a penalty box now, I'll tumble. A penalty maybe, it's the home crowd after all. No way. The referee is very brave in his decision, but it's a great burst of speed to get him past Isa Halim yet again. But what great work by Baihaki Kaizan. There we go. That should have been a free kick, just outside the box. not inside the penalty box. That should have been a free kick. And by Haki Kaizan, it's a lucky chap, but great defensive work by him, picking up where his midfielders Shujiai and Isa Halim failed to do so against Firman Utima.
Well, the first substitution for the Singapore side, John Wilkinson goes off, and in comes Jumaat Jantan.
Radi Avramovic needing more protection for his fullbacks. Daniel Bennett in particular has been given the run around this evening. First off by Arif Suyono and then by Muhammad Ilhan. A lot of times it's Shujiai not covering the central position and Johnny Wilkinson expanding his energy up front, going left to right. And he doesn't get back in time. Jumaat Jantan is more of a defensive player down the left-hand side. Will protect Daniel Bennett just that little more.
We're looking at the starting lineup for Singapore, Mark. I'm sure Reddy has to take some credit for resting Mustafik Farudin, of such a key player who's on one yellow card, and put in a Isa Halim who, well, certainly has performed credibly tonight.
Absolutely. I don't think he's disgraced himself at all, Isa Halim. He's done well. A lot of times Firman Utina got past him a little too easily. But Firman Utina has shown in this tournament that he gets past midfielders very, very easily. But Isa Halim has done well in the center of midfield, doing what Mustafic does all the time, which is create a lot of energy and protecting his two centre-backs. And to his credit, Ponayo has had quite a quiet game so far. Not so much Firman, he'll still do his damage, but Ponayo has had very little time to move forward. And it's not just a credit of Isa Halim for that. Give credit to Shujiai as well, who's really put in his work.
Well, the gamble on resting Mustafik has certainly paid off, as Mustafik's yellow card will be wiped off for the semi-finals, as everybody will start all afresh again.
That's right. It's something that they did in the recent Euro Championships. It worked out very well because you get the star players playing in the final. You don't want to miss out on the star players picking up yellow cards in the semi-finals. And don't forget too, it's a two-legged semi-final, so they can still pick up yellow cards in each leg and miss out on the final. It's the last thing you need.
Well, as it stands, if Singapore wins this game, they will top Group A and they will go on to take on Vietnam, most likely Vietnam. And Thailand, of course, will be the dreaded rivals for Indonesia in the other semi-finals. Aroiba now. Oh, gets past Nur Rahman there, but not by Haki Kaizan.
He's done everything right by Haki Kaizan. There's not enough elevation in that cross to cause him any problems. Now that's what this guy brings. As I said, he's a good player. He's got extraordinary pace about him, good turn of speed as well. It's just his delivery at times has just failed him in his decision making. That time he did everything right and almost created havoc. And Nur Rahman really has to watch, not just in tackling him and preventing the crosses, but making sure as well that he doesn't pick up a yellow card, because he has already got one.
Well, the corner coming in and clear to safety there for Singapore. What a good attempt on that occasion from Budi. Here's some space to work on, spotted the gap there, but just failed to keep it on target there for Indonesia.
I think the coach and Errol Iba are both exasperated because Errol Iba had escaped the attentions of Nur Rahman and made a wonderful run down the left-hand side. If he had just played the ball in, he would have gone attacking the byline with a huge chance and a great chance to cut it back. You can't blame a striker for taking the shot, but maybe it's the wrong option that time, especially with the amount of players they have in the penalty box waiting for a cutback to happen.
Under 20 minutes of regulation time now for Indonesia to come back into this game. A draw will be good enough for Singapore to top the table. Indonesia, of course, needs a victory to secure top position.
I tell you what's been so impressive about the Lions so far, as we see this guy Samshul Bakri in the game. It's been so impressive about the Lions in this match is that every corner, every dead ball situation flung into the penalty box has had a body challenge to it. Avramovic will be very happy with that. He's not too happy with Indra giving the ball away too easily then. But every time a ball's been flung into the penalty box, there's a body challenging it. And a young Lions defender going so close and blocking off the second attempt. That has been very impressive for me.
Ismail Sofian now. Budi. Shamsul Bakri, Isdan Ali now. Shamsul Bakri. Patient build up there from Indonesia. Aliuddin goes for the long range attempt there, and Lionel has it all covered. Ismail Sofian.
Time and time again, as I said, for the Indonesian side, they have to get round the fullbacks. The Singapore fullbacks are not the fastest. Nur Rahman perhaps the quickest of the lot there, but still with Errol Iba, they have that opportunity to get round the fullbacks. But if they're taking shots from that far out all the time with a crowded penalty box, Singapore are going to eat it up all day long, and they'll be more than pleased, Lionel Lewis especially, to see that happening.
Well, Shahril Ishak has been slotted in for Indra Shahdan. Certainly a more midfield-minded player to perhaps protect the midfield a little better for Singapore.
He does play well in that hole, just between midfield and attack. Shahril Ishak, very intelligent player. Huge fan of Shahril Ishak. The way he plays his football, always with his head up.
Aliuddin now. Cleared to safety by Precious.
Once again, for the Indonesians, you're not going to profit if you're just going to keep crossing the ball from way outside like that. Singapore defenders have got their number. They've covered their spaces very, very well. Indonesian players need to get to the byline to put it back. That's the only way you're going to beat the Singapore defense, which has been watertight, led by this man.
Bayaki Kaisan certainly is a star performer tonight. Marshalling his back line impressively, and of course contributing to the opening goal as well for Singapore. And that opening goal certainly set the pace for this game, Mark.
Sure it did, because it invited Indonesia out of their shells. They had to come out, they had to attack, and it also created the opportunity for Singapore to keep their shape and learn all about each other defensively, which they've stood very well to the test. They've defended as a unit, and whilst the midfielders have lost possession of the ball a little too cheaply for me at times, the defense has been very solid. They've moved up together, they've kept it well. As I said earlier on, every time a ball's flung into the penalty box, there is a challenge and there is a backup player. Just saw by Haki earlier on missing the ball, and Precious is there to wipe it up and clean it. And that's what you need as a good defensive unit.
Cherish Lianto finds Budi there. No support for the number 13 man for Indonesia. Claiming for a corner, but referee says no.
It's another fine example. Bernard Baihaki lost possession of the ball. Precious taking no chances whatsoever. Ran right across. You look at this. Baihaki loses the flight of it. First time that he's lost the flight of the ball. And Precious was there in an instant. So you get Budi Sudarsono, Bambang Pamungkas, and now Aliuddin. They have had no opportunity whatsoever to take a first touch in the penalty box. If they ever wanted an opportunity at goal, it has to be taken first time. And that's a headache for strikers.
Shi Jiayi now. Well, failed to find Jumat Jantan. Shamsul Bakri. Isdan Ali. Well, crowded on the ball there. Shahril Ishak now for Singapore. Shields the ball well.
Good boy. Good play, Shahril Ishak. As I said, intelligent player. He knew exactly what the coach's instructions were as he came onto the pitch, which is keep ball. And he did it superbly then. Chested it, waited for the challenge, shielded it well enough, invited the tackle. By the time it came in, he had all the time in the world to steady the ship, make sure that Indonesia have got to defend instead of spending time in the Singapore defensive third.
Well, Ismail Yunus, well, he came on as a substitute the last game against Myanmar. Well, he is in the game again. This time around, replacing Mohammad Ridwan for Singapore.
It might mean that Singapore go for a three-back line now. Three-man back line by Haki Precious. And that man, Ismail Yunus. Noor Rahman and Daniel Bennett being wing-backs. Does give them a bit more protection down the flanks, just in case the Indonesians get a little interested in attacking the byline, which they haven't done in this match.
Issa Halim finds Noor Rahman. Throw in for Singapore.
Abramovich must be really pleased at everything he's done so far. I think he's worked it out in the training ground with his substitutions, the different formations he wants on the pitch, and all along with the different changes, the Lions have just kept their shape.
This is Jai. By Haki. Well, Shariel. Well, he's offside.
Unfortunate Indonesian backline. Very disciplined in moving forward then. So that ball that had been played earlier. I've seen Shariel Ishak in an onside position. There we go. Well, he is onside, isn't he?
Yeah, he is onside, Mark.
Agu Kazmir that was off, but he wasn't involved in play.
Well, this may not be the last time these two teams are meeting in this competition, Mark. I mean, the likely rival for Indonesia, of course, in the semi-finals is Thailand if the score remains this way. And how do you see Indonesia's opportunities to chance of take over and beat Thailand?
Very slim. Well, because I have been impressed with Thailand. You have to remember that they are the only team not to concede a goal so far in this tournament, with Indonesia conceding 2 against Singapore here. And also they have been very, very impressive. They have 2 good teams out there. Remember, there was a second string side that they took on against Laos, and they actually won by 6-0. So they have very good substitutes waiting to come on at any time in the match. And they have some very strong defenders that they've taken and have elevated themselves from the under-23 squad that won the SEA Games gold medal.
Well,
even with Singapore playing this well, Bernard, I still think Thailand are the favourites for the title. They have a very, very strong side.
And of course, not to mention Peter Reid as well, the new coach, getting things right for Thailand.
Well, he'll instill some discipline into the side, but he has said it. He doesn't have to do much as far as the players' abilities are concerned. You know, Datsukon is one player who's probably, he can be the best, not just in this region. He is the best in this region in his department, but even in Asia as well. Things that he can do with the ball, it's not just amazing, it's fun to watch.
Well, that certainly will be a cracker of a game between Thailand and Indonesia. Or check there on Juma Jantan.
Unlucky, it should have been a free kick. Referees allowed play to go on. Let's not forget to, Bernard, if it's Singapore and Vietnam, that's a cracker as well. Vietnamese have got a very good side, a very good strike force. Lê Khong Vinh, one of the best in Southeast Asia.
Well, Singapore has a proud record to shout about. Each time when they get into the semi-finals in this competition, they will go on eventually to win the cup.
Yes, we hope we don't jinx it. But Radhi Abramovich has not lost a match as manager of Singapore yet. A very good record, as you said, in this tournament. But Vietnam, let's not underestimate them. They also have vengeance on their minds. Remember, last year's SEA Games, Singapore won the bronze medal against Vietnam by beating them 3rd and 4th place. I think it was 5-0 in that match.
Well, Ismail Sofian and cleared the safety by Precious on that occasion. As Indonesia still looks for their first goal in this match.
That was great defending yet again. So I was looking across the penalty box. The cross wasn't too bad, but once again, bodies were flung up, headed away. But every marker inside the 6-yard box was covered by a defender. Great marking.
Budi now. Bernario. Aliuddin. Good ball, Ilham there. Was just waiting to take advantage.
Ismail Yunos a little slow on the turn. Does well enough though. Young Lions defender to just slide it out of play. But that's where they could be caught, Singapore. On the back foot. Defenders are not the quickest.
Three for Indonesia. This is Ilham. Finds Errol Iba there. Errol, of course, failed to cut his cross in.
Errol Iba had the opportunity to take Sharil Ishak on for a run, and Sharil Ishak had committed himself already. It might have even been a penalty or a free kick just at the edge of the box. But he went for the early cross. Once again, that final ball letting him down. It's okay to have all the pace and speed in the world, but you need to deliver those crosses. Must be frustrating as a centre forward playing with him. You know you're going to have opportunities, but out of 10, you're hoping for that one ball which finally lands on your head.
Ismail Yunos. Well, the Indonesians, they're just not able to find a way to get into any dangerous situation in front of Singapore's goal.
As I said, it's the wingers not going to the byline enough. A cross into the penalty box will easily be dealt with by the Singapore defenders. They're good in the air. They'll win it all day long. They either have to get into the penalty box, or the wingers having the opportunity first time, once they beat their markers, to swing a ball just in front of Lionel Lewis and just behind the defenders for their strikers to attack. They haven't done enough of that. The final ball in the penalty box has been very disappointing, and Benny will have to work on it before the semi-final clash.
Isnan Ali, Budi, Isnan, good work there. Ismail Yunos clearing the safety for Singapore.
Yet again, a cover for the Singapore backline. It's been so existent. Every time by Haki, Precious, Daniel Bennett lose the ball, especially in the central areas. Not so much the wide areas, but the central areas. There's always cover at the back. They're allowing the Indonesians no time at all to settle on the ball. And the Indonesians like to have the ball at their feet playing these passes. There you go. No time to settle at the ball. Intervene, counter-attack. Now take your time, Agu.
Well, this will be a break for Singapore now. Agu trying to find Sharil Ishak. Just failed to thread the pass through. Budi. He will release Isnan right now. He's got Ismail Yunos with him. Oh, good work from Ismail Yunos.
Very good work from Ismail Yunos. Tore it out of play, safety first.
Bernario. And this is a good opportunity for Indonesia. Here we go. Good save there from Lionel Lewis. First time he's called to action. Aliuddin had an excellent chance to pull one goal back for Indonesia. And Lionel Lewis came out, made himself really huge to deny this number 10 man and deny Indonesia's opening goal.
I always believe you make your own luck in football. There's an element of luck in that save by Lionel Lewis, but the way he spread eagle himself in front of the striker, it's so intimidating having a person with the size of Lionel Lewis coming straight out at you like that. You need to take a shot first time. It was a snapshot. It was heading towards goal. It hit Lionel's hand. It is Singapore's night. Benny is frustrated because of the lack of luck, but for the first time, there wasn't enough of a marking, and Daniel Bennett just took his eye off the ball. Brilliant save by Lionel Lewis. I'd like to see that reaction again of him throwing something on the ground. There we go. There we go.
Oh, it's absolutely, just cannot believe. Ali Udin. Corner coming in right now. Lionel Lewis pushing away the safety again. Precious helping out.
I was just praising Lionel, but you know what, Lionel, when you come out for that, if you want to punch the ball, make a decision early and palm it. Punch it as far out as possible. You can't palm it right down, because if flapping it, that's the opportunity for the striker to hit back right at you. It's poor goalkeeping, and that came after a splendid save.
Well, the first time Lionel Lewis has been called to make a one-to-one situation save so far in this competition.
Yes, actually, if you think about it, it's been pretty safe with the defense in front of him, Lionel Lewis.
He may have conceded a goal against Myanmar, but other than that, Lionel Lewis had very little to do.
Great defending once again by Haki Kaizan. He knows he'll be beaten for pace. He knows that once they turn on him, he might get lost. What he does is that he puts his body in the way, and he makes it very difficult.
Shamsul Bakri now. Well, this time it will be an easy catch for Singapore custodian.
Wrong option once again. Errol Eva paved the way with a run down the flanks. But I guess someone as frustrating as Errol Eva, sometimes if you feed him down the flanks, you don't know what sort of a service that he's going to give you.
Oh, Agu down the break for Singapore. 3 against 2 now. Agu goes for goal and just failed to get past the keeper, or rather failed to get the ball on target there. He just cannot believe himself.
You notice he looks straight to the bench. Radi Abramovich is someone who will shout at Agu Kashmir and let him know that should have been a pass to Sharil Ishak. Fake the shot and then make that pass to Sharil Ishak. That would have been goal number 3. A little bit selfish, but with the form that he's been showing in this tournament, you can't blame Agu for taking the shot.
Well, this is Budi, and this time he took it first time, of course, just failed to keep the shot low and on target.
Yet again, if you have a look at it, where was Haki Kaizan when Budi just drew himself out near the penalty spot to receive the cross? Haki was there offering his body, offering his physical presence. Look at this. This is a much better cross. As I was saying, you put it in the air, the Singapore defenders will gobble it up. But if you put it right back, that's the opportunity. But Haki Kaizan goes right up to offer some resistance. And because of that, Budi has got no opportunity to take the ball down for a much cleaner shot at goal. He has to take it first time and snatch at it.
Well, Indonesia, they've had their chances in the last 5-10 minutes to perhaps get some goals back. But the opportunities were all wasted, and the Singapore defense proved to be stout, as always. 4 minutes of time added on. Robbie. Ismail Sofian. Ali Udin and Ali Udin again for Indonesia. It's done.
Good work. It's one way to mark a very quick player. Don't give him time to dwell on the ball. Drag it back and put it past you. Just go for it and intercept it before it gets to him. Good work by Ismail Yunus.
Well, Bennett losing out possession. This is Ilham now, and good protection from Precious, and they're claiming that Precious handled the ball there. Ilham.
I tell you what, Bernard, I've seen penalties given for that. I know it was ball to hand, I think the referee made the right decision, but I have seen penalties given for that. And in this home crowd, it takes a very brave referee to say, play on. There we go. That could have been a penalty.
Absolutely, Mark. There you go. It's only hit Precious' right arm. Well, obviously, not entirely intended.
Not at all. I think he tried to get out of the way of that shot. And even then, if that arm wasn't there, the ball was going out. So perhaps this referee took that into consideration, that the ball was heading out, not heading towards goal. But if it had been heading towards goal, to that top corner, he might have given it. They've ridden their luck, Singapore. But aside from the frantic final 10 minutes where Indonesia did carve out some chances and Lionel Lewis have had to make that save, it's been a pretty safe game for the Lions, and their defending has been top-notch. Man of the match for me by Haki.
Kaiser. Suddenly, Aroiba, Ponario, Aroiba again, but Aki is there and cleared to safety again. Late challenge there, but Jumaat Jantan commits a foul, saves the referee.
Well, that's it. He's waiting to give something back to the Indonesians. I didn't give you the penalty. How about this free kick? Oh, there's nothing wrong with that challenge. 50-50 ball. Jumaat Jantan wanted it a little bit more, and because of that, a little bit high perhaps, but both going for the ball, both with high boots. Saw nothing wrong with that. Jumaat wanted to put the ball out of play anyway for treatment to be meted out to the Indonesian.
Well, a 50-50 situation. Result of a free kick now for Indonesia as this very late stage of time added on. Istan Ali and failed to keep it down.
And that's what's been disappointing for the Indonesians tonight. That final ball into the penalty box, which was so good against Myanmar. Lots of those crosses behind the defenders, just non-existent this evening. And even those free kicks, the dead ball situations, have been poor as well. And Benny knows all about it. They'll have to go back, pack it all up. It might be Thailand in the semi-finals, most likely Thailand. They'll have a game plan for them. It certainly didn't work against Singapore. He got it right against the Lions. He knows that the Lions have that height advantage, and because of that, they tried to play the ball along the ground, especially in midfield. They did all that okay, but that penetrative pass has been missing from the Indonesians.
Well, the referee R. Krishnan has blown for the final whistle, so Singapore has beaten Indonesia by 2-0. An early goal from Bayaki Kaizan in the second minute, and in the second half, an early goal in the second half by Shi Jia-yi. Both goals from dead ball situations. A result that certainly has done Singapore proud and put Singapore in a very comfortable position as they top Group A.
Yes, they top Group A. Most likely they're going to meet Vietnam, but it's not over yet because the Vietnamese have got a couple of surprises sprung up, and it's difficult to play as well in Vietnam, so the Lions have to watch. But this is a huge confidence booster to win in Indonesia. It gives you the belief that you can go to an away ground, silence the crowd, and come out with a victory. It's a morale-boosting effort for Radi Avramovic. Once again, credit to the coach. Avramovic had a game plan. His players stuck to it, and they came out with the 3 points and 2 goals.
Well, Singapore marches on into the semi-finals. Again, likely opponents, Vietnam. And watch this channel for more details about the semi-final coverage that we'll be providing for you between Singapore and most likely Vietnam. As for now, the final score in Indonesia, in Jakarta, of course, Indonesia 0, Singapore 2. And in the other matchup, Myanmar has defeated Cambodia by 3-2. That's it from the Bang Karno Stadium in Jakarta, Indonesia. This has been the 2008 AFF Suzuki Cup. On behalf of Mark Richmond, this is Bernard Lim. It's good night on Channel 5.